Have you ever spent hours studying English, memorizing grammar and vocabulary, only to find yourself struggling in a real conversation? You know the words, the rules, even the accent, but when you speak, something just doesn't sound natural. Why is it that native speakers seem to flow so effortlessly while you feel like you're reading from a textbook? In today's story, we're diving into a powerful lesson not found in grammar books, a journey through the 150 phrases that make English sound real. But what exactly makes these phrases so special? Let's find out. If you've ever felt that way, like your English is technically correct but still missing something, you're not alone. This experience is more common than you might think, especially for learners who have spent years studying grammar rules and memorizing vocabulary. You can ace exams, write perfect sentences, and even understand movies or podcasts, but when it comes to speaking naturally, in real-life situations, your words might still come out sounding a bit stiff, robotic, or overly formal. It's frustrating, isn't it? You've done all the right things, and yet fluency still feels just out of reach. That's exactly the problem this lesson is designed to solve, not by teaching you more advanced grammar, but by helping you unlock the heart of authentic, everyday English. The truth is, real-life conversations rarely follow textbook rules. Native speakers use a wide range of casual phrases, expressions, and idioms that carry tone, emotion, and familiarity. These expressions are what make English feel alive, relatable, and human. They're the difference between saying, "Hello, how are you?" and casually greeting someone with, "Hey, what's up?" Between saying, "I am very hungry," and laughing with your friend, "I'm starving." They may sound simple, but these phrases are loaded with nuance, and they play a huge role in how we connect with one another. That's why the video you're about to watch, or just finished watching, is such a game changer. It doesn't just dump a list of words on you, it takes you into the world of 150 essential phrases that native speakers use all the time, in coffee shops, at school, at work, or just hanging out with friends. These aren't rare or poetic expressions, they're the kind of phrases you hear every day, the kind that make your English sound natural, confident, and most importantly, real. The host, Elena, doesn't just tell you what these phrases mean, she breaks each one down with clear definitions, when to use them, how to say them in context, and even how to respond when someone uses them with you. It's like learning English from a friend, not a textbook. And that's what makes this lesson so effective. It's focused not on perfection, but connection. These expressions help you sound more like you, your personality, your sense of humor, your emotions, just in English. So before we dive into the actual phrases, pause for a moment and think, what if mastering English wasn't just about knowing the language, but feeling it? What if the missing link between your studies and your fluency wasn't intelligence or effort, but simply the kinds of phrases you've never been taught? Well, that's exactly what this journey is about to reveal. Let's begin. And so, with that shift in mindset, from speaking correctly to speaking naturally, we arrive at the core of this lesson, 150 essential English phrases that native speakers actually use every single day. These aren't fancy idioms pulled from novels, nor are they outdated expressions no one says anymore. They're the real deal, casual, conversational, and deeply embedded in daily life. From grabbing coffee in the morning to texting a friend at night, these are the phrases that shape authentic interactions. And once you start using them, you'll notice something remarkable. Your English will begin to feel less like a second language and more like a part of who you are. Take, for example, the phrase, "What's up?" It might seem like a small thing, a simple greeting, but it carries cultural tone and familiarity that "How do you do?" or "How are you today?" just can't capture in casual settings. It's these small shifts in phrasing that signal to a listener that you belong in the conversation. You're not reciting English, you're living it. Elena, the host of English in Moments, introduces each of these expressions with care, explaining not only their meaning, but also how and when to use them. You learn that "no worries" isn't just a reply, it's a feeling, a tone of ease and friendliness. You learn that saying "I'm on my way" in a text isn't just functional, it's part of how people stay connected in real time. The beauty of these phrases lies in their versatility and emotional depth. Some show politeness, "take your time," some show vulnerability, "I'm not feeling well," and others offer encouragement, "you've got this." Each phrase carries a story, a little piece of human emotion behind it. And when you speak using these phrases, your conversations don't just function, they connect. They carry warmth, humor, empathy, and authenticity. That's why this isn't just a vocabulary list, it's a toolkit for building relationships in English. More importantly, Elena makes sure you don't just memorize these phrases. She helps you feel them. She uses relatable examples, realistic situations, and conversational tones that make you smile, nod, and say, "Yes, I've needed that phrase before." The lesson flows like a friendly chat, not a lecture. Each phrase is a stepping stone toward more confident communication. You're not just learning what to say, you're learning what feels right to say. By the end of this section, the idea is clear. Fluency isn't about how many rare words you know, it's about knowing the right words for the right moments. These 150 phrases are the building blocks of fluent, friendly English. They're not just vocabulary, they're voice. And that voice? It's yours, finally set free to speak naturally. Ready to keep exploring? Let's dig into the next layer. Now that you've discovered the power behind these 150 essential phrases and how they add color, emotion, and authenticity to your English, it's time to explore how they're taught in this lesson and why that makes all the difference. Unlike traditional language lessons that throw vocabulary lists at you and expect rote memorization, Elena guides you through each phrase with clarity, care, and context. She doesn't just define them, she brings them to life. And that's the true genius of this lesson. Phrases aren't taught as cold facts, but as living, breathing parts of real conversations. For every phrase, she explains when to use it, why it matters, and what kind of emotion or tone it conveys. Let's take the phrase "I'm just kidding" as an example. It might look simple at first glance, but Elena shows how it can completely change the energy of a conversation. Used after a teasing remark or joke, it helps avoid misunderstandings and signals warmth, humor, and a light-hearted attitude. Without that phrase, a joke could easily turn into confusion or even offense. That's how much tone and timing matter in real-life communication. And she doesn't stop at explanation. She walks you through real-world examples, things you'd actually say with friends, co-workers, or strangers. For instance, you don't just learn that fingers crossed means good luck. You hear it in context. "Good luck with your interview. Fingers crossed for you." Suddenly, it's not just a phrase, it's a way of showing support, of being human in English. This deep understanding, reinforced through repetition and relatable stories, helps these phrases stick. You're not memorizing isolated words, you're learning how they function in the flow of real conversation. That's why you start to recall them more easily. Your brain isn't just learning, they're experiencing how it feels to say, "Let me think, I don't get it," or "that makes sense," in an actual conversation. And because these phrases are taught in a friendly, natural tone, like chatting with a good friend, it feels less like studying and more like absorbing. What's even more empowering is how Elena shows you that you don't have to speak perfect English to sound confident and fluent. These phrases are tools to help you navigate daily life, express yourself clearly, and build comfort in speaking. You'll notice that some phrases are polite and soft, while others are playful or even assertive. The lesson gives you emotional range, not just language ability. You learn not just what to say, but how to sound kind, firm, funny, or thoughtful in English. In the end, you're not just building vocabulary, you're building your voice. You're gaining confidence to speak, not like a student, but like a person. And with every phrase mastered, you step closer to fluency that feels effortless and truly your own. As you absorb these phrases through Eleanor's clear explanations and natural examples, something powerful begins to happen. You no longer feel like you're translating in your head. Instead, the language starts to flow. That's the moment when English shifts from being a subject you study to a skill you live, and Elena knows exactly how to help you reach that turning point by encouraging you to take these expressions out of the lesson and into the real world. Because no matter how well you understand a phrase, it only becomes yours when you start using it in daily life. This is where the true magic of the lesson unfolds. Elena emphasizes that fluency isn't built in the classroom alone, it's built in coffee shops, text messages, quick chats with co-workers, even small talk with strangers. She encourages you to treat every interaction as a chance to use these expressions, even if just one or two at a time. That's why she keeps the phrases grounded in real-life situations, so you can imagine yourself saying them naturally without second-guessing or hesitation. It's no longer about rehearsed speech, it's about real moments of communication. For example, instead of answering, "How are you?" with, "I'm fine, thank you," a phrase every learner knows, you might now respond with, "Not much, just chilling," or "Can't complain," depending on your mood. These small shifts make a huge difference in how natural and confident you sound. You begin to respond like a native speaker, not by imitating, but by genuinely understanding what fits the moment best. And the more you do it, the more instinctive it becomes. What's equally important is Elena's reminder that it's okay to stumble, to try a phrase and get it a bit wrong. That's how we learn. She gently pushes learners out of perfectionism and into progress. The goal isn't flawless grammar, it's fluid communication. She encourages you to take risks, to speak without fear, and to treat mistakes not as failures but as stepping stones. This mindset shift alone can transform your learning experience. To reinforce this, Elena suggests practical ways to build these phrases into your daily routine. Repeat them aloud, write short conversations using them, or even talk to yourself in the mirror using expressions like, "Let me think," "I'll pass," or "You made my day." These may sound simple, but they create daily habits that turn passive knowledge into active skill. By the time you finish practicing a few of these expressions in real life, you'll begin to notice changes, not just in how others as these phrases slowly become part of your natural speech, one by one, day by day, you'll start to notice something deeper than just improved fluency. You'll begin to feel a new level of confidence, not the kind of confidence that comes from memorizing a perfect sentence, but the kind that comes from truly owning your words. Elena's lesson doesn't just give you language, it gives you the permission to speak like yourself, in English. And that kind of transformation doesn't end with one video. It plants the seed for a lifetime of meaningful communication. That's why, in the final part of her message, Elena steps back from the list of phrases and delivers a heartfelt reminder. Learning English is not a performance, it's a process. You don't need to speak perfectly to be understood. You don't need to sound like someone else to be fluent. The real goal is to be comfortable and authentic, to express your ideas and emotions clearly, kindly, and with confidence. Whether you're telling a joke, giving encouragement, or just saying, "I'm not sure," every phrase you use becomes a brick in the foundation of your English identity. She encourages you to continue using these phrases beyond the lesson, not just when you study, but in real conversations, voice notes, social media comments, or while watching your favorite shows. The more you live with the language, the more effortlessly it becomes part of you. It's not about forcing yourself to speak, it's about creating small, safe moments where English becomes natural. That might mean whispering, "Hang in there," to a friend who's having a bad day, or smiling and saying, "Better late than never," when someone finally shows up. These aren't just expressions, they're real connections being built, one phrase at a time. In the final moments of the video, Elena invites you not only to remember what you've learned, but to reflect on how far you've come. Maybe before watching, you only knew how to say, "I'm hungry," and now you confidently say, "I'm starving." Maybe you used to say, "Yes, okay," and now you naturally respond, "That sounds good." These are the small victories that matter. They are proof that you are growing, not just as a learner, but as a communicator. She closes with a warm invitation. Keep going, keep practicing, keep making English part of your daily world. And if this video gave you even a small boost of confidence, then celebrate it. Share it. Let it remind you that your voice matters and it deserves to be heard in any language. Because fluency isn't about speaking perfect English. It's about speaking your English without fear, with joy, and with purpose. And that's exactly what these 150 phrases are helping you do, one conversation at a time.